Meet Greta Thunberg. Don't watch a lot of the news. I guess she's some kind of activist and very vocal in her causes. So I'm just going to read her face and tell you a little bit about Miss Greta. She looks very, very young. There are 9 face shapes. She's a combination between an iron face and a bucket face. So basically, the iron face is that 3S. Strong, stable, stubborn. Give her a job, she's going to get it done. The bucket is all about intellect. She loves to put things in her bucket, loves to think. She's a thought leader, very progressive in her thinking, list maker, never completes her list. Next thing we do is we look at the right and left eyes. The right eye is what we show to the world. It's our public persona. It's our mother's influence. The left is our true inner private self, and it's our father's influence. So if you cover up that left eye and just look at the right eye, what you're going to see is she's very focused and very intense. Not anger, but there's a lot of intensity there. Now, when we cover up that right eye and only look at the left eye, here's where that intensity turns to anger. There's just some anger in that eye. This is magnified by the fact that her eyebrows are coming screaming down. This is a sign of someone that's very critical. She's very critical of herself, but probably very critical of others. If she's an activist, probably part of the territory. Also, her eyes, you can't look at these eyes and not see the size of these pupils. They're absolutely huge. If she gets stopped by a cop anywhere in the United States, they're going to think she's on drugs. Doesn't look like any drug use. I don't see any liver indicators, any toxicity. But when these pupils are this large, it's a sign of what we call sympathetic dominance. We have 2 parts of our nervous system. We have our peripheral nerves, which we have voluntary control over, and then we have something called our autonomic nervous system, which we don't have voluntary control over. This handles our breathing, our heart rate, our sweat glands. All those things are handled automatically. You don't have to think, gee, it's hot in here. Let me turn my sweating mechanism on. Now, this autonomic nervous system is divided into 2 parts. We have our parasympathetics, which quiet everything down, and our sympathetics, which speed everything up. This is a sign of sympathetic dominance. This is like driving your car with an accelerator only. She is sympathetic dominant. End-stage adrenal exhaustion often breeds sympathetic dominance. My guess is she's been under a little more stress than she's comfortable with, and she's not coping with stress well. Again, I don't see the drug use or the abuse kind of indicators that I typically see when I see sympathetic dominance. So my guess is it's just under too much stress. Cheeks are rounded. Cheeks are about confidence. She's tactful. She's open. She's friendly. Can make friends very easily with this. Corner of her mouth, notice the left side is kind of downturned. This can be a digestive indicator, a lack of hydrochloric acid, but it can be lost. Just go to any nursing home and look at the people that have these incredibly deep lines that just kind of come down here into the cheek area. They've experienced a lot of loss. It's only on her left side. Is there some loss with a male in her life? I would say yes, based on her face. I don't know the gal. My guess is there's some loss. Also, notice in her upper eyelids, there's a fullness to there. It's a little bit greater on the left side. This is a gallbladder indicator. The emotion of the gallbladder is anger. This is internalized anger. Women lose their gallbladder 8-to-1 ratio to men. You can't hear that stat and not go, what's that about? We men tend to, as a general rule, not trying to be sexist, we tend to externalize anger and do stupid things and end up going to jail. Women tend to internalize anger and they lose their gallbladder 8-to-1 ratio to men. Just pointing it out. Also notice that her hairline is not real straight. It's kind of wavy or uneven. This is someone that rebels against conformity. Probably was rebellious from day one. My guess is she enjoyed her teen years. I'm not so sure her parents enjoyed those. And the reason I think that's the case, we'll go back to the eyes and we'll notice that underneath her eyes, there's white on 3 sides. This is a Japanese term called lower sympaku. This is a sign of fanaticism. You'll see this also in people that abuse drugs and alcohol. The first thing we abuse is sugar. So a lot of us end up with lower sympaku as a result of just consuming too much sugar. But in this case, very fanatical individual, very cause-driven, very critical, and under a lot of stress. So that's Miss Greta. Hope you enjoyed meeting her. We're asked over and over and over again, can you read my face? The answer is yes. Matter of fact, I'd love to read your face. All you got to do is go to WTFWhyTheFace.com. Now, there's several options there. It's not a costly thing to do. First option is I can simply give you a written report. It'll be 7-8 pages long. I will read your face. I will go over psychological aspects, traits that are positive, traits that are negative, also some health issues. That is one fee. The second option is you'll also get a 7 to 8 page written report. Plus, I will physically call you. Questions will come up. I usually spend 30 to 60 minutes on the phone with you. Obviously, it's a little higher price because it's going to be more time involved. But a lot of questions will come up and you'll say, okay, I got that, but what does that really mean? And I can kind of explain a little more in depth. The third option is, again, 7 to 8 pages. I'll call you, but we can also discuss some options. If there's some things that you're concerned with, we can kind of point you in a direction. I can't physically treat you, but I can certainly make some suggestions when you talk to your own doctor. Pay attention to this or whatever it might be. So if you're interested, please upload your faces and we will be happy to read them for you. Would love to do it.